Did the creators of the series, Dark, steal the plot of Stranger Things?
Is it just a German adaptation of the same story?
Greetings, my name is Alcott Scoffer, and we are about to solve the mystery of similarity between Stranger Things and Dark.
I am a huge Stranger Things fan, but I know little about this German Dark show. What's its genre?
Dark is a sci-fi thriller series.
Stranger Things is a sci-fi horror. That's pretty similar. A coincidence? Who knows?
Dark was released in December 2017, a full year after Stranger Things' release, plus a few more months.
So, this excludes the possibility of a vice versa situation, where Stranger Things could have copied something from Dark, and it just adds to the suspicions. What about the plot of Dark?
In the beginning of the show, 2 children go missing in the German town of Winden, and their parents try desperately to get them back.
In the first episode of Stranger Things, Will Byers goes missing in the rural town of Hawkins, Indiana, and his mother tries desperately to get him back. I think we solved this mystery. It looks like Dark was written off Stranger Things after all.
Don't jump to conclusions too quickly, Mr. Fullylover. We need to check all the important factors first. In Dark, kids go missing because of failed experiments.
Same story in Stranger Things. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but Mr. Scoffer, sir, I think the case can be closed right now.
When do the events of Stranger Things take place?
Stranger Things take place within a single time period, in the 80s, even though initially the creators meant to dedicate each season to its own decade, from the 1980s to the 1990s, and from the 1990s to the 2000s, and so on.
Dark takes place in the present, future, and past. In 2019, 2052, 1920, 1953, and 1986. And no wonder, because one of the main topics in this series is time travel.
Oh, the first 2 major differences have been found. Stranger Things mostly focuses on fighting with all kinds of extraterrestrial monsters. Sometimes they are even able to possess the people you know.
There are no monsters in Dark. Despite the sci-fi setting, wormholes, and time travel, the most horrible creatures you might encounter in Dark are people. Their sins lead to all the frightening twists in the show. Speaking of people, the show features members from 4 families: the Kahnwald, Nielsen, Doppler, and Tiedemann. The plot of the show is mostly built on characters' relationships and focuses on different generations of each family.
That sounds complicated. And it also sounds like a huge cast.
You got that right. Dark has a huge cast.
Well, the cast of Stranger Things is limited, yet its awesomeness, especially when it comes to younger members of the cast, was the reason why creators decided to stick to the 80s instead of going all the way to 2020 with a different cast in each season. This fact made Stranger Things no less of a coming-of-age story than the sci-fi horror story it is.
There are some kids among the important characters in Dark, but the series has none of the coming-of-age elements in it. And it's no wonder, because the show is aimed at adults.
Because it contains sexual content and profanity? Just so you know, Stranger Things has none of that.
No, I mean, yes, there is some sexual content and profanity, but it's not about that. Dark lives up to its title. It takes you to the places some people prefer not to think about. This show has little gore in it, but it pushes your buttons and knows your triggers. It's the kind of horror that makes you think that simply seeing blood would be easier. And when it gets violent, or disturbing, or bitter, it really gets to you.
Oh, now I get it. Stranger Things might get scary at times, but it mostly makes you feel warm. We love it because despite all the monsters, horrors, sudden twists, and moments of drama, it's mostly about entertainment and nostalgia. It has a touch of comedy. It makes you relax and laugh, and also provides enough sci-fi action to give you the thrill when you need it.
Dark has a serious tone. It doesn't shy away from exploring philosophy and dark subjects, because it's not afraid to scare fans off with the necessity to think. It is entertaining, but it doesn't try to bribe you with a sense of something well-known and easy to recognize. It doesn't take you back to the times when your deepest fear was not being accepted by the queen of the class.
I got it. Dark is for the grown-ups that don't get tired of being a grown-up. Stranger Things is for that inner child that always remains with us.
Exactly. So calling Dark the European version of Stranger Things because both of the series start off with missing kids is similar to comparing Star Wars and Star Trek because both movies take place in space. If you do want to compare these two shows with something more similar to them, we'll give you a few fitting examples. In my opinion, Dark has more in common with 12 Monkeys, or even Twin Peaks.
Stranger Things kind of reminds me of the Are You Afraid of the Dark show, and of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's like a version of X-Files for kids. Where did the myth of Dark being the German version of Stranger Things come from anyway?
I guess we have Netflix to blame for that. It shows the comparison of the two shows as their promotion strategy for the series Dark. It was promoted as the German version of Stranger Things, a so-called European take on the same topic. However, despite their mysteries, small-town settings, and the possibility of partially shared target audiences, these two shows are very different in atmosphere, plot, and the way their stories go.